Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. So, how do you get in on this conversation today? Because I promise you it's going to be a doozy. Telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line for text messages and calls, 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. You can also check us out on YouTube on our official channels. And of course, you can catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974 and on your radio dial here in New Providence on Global 99.5 FM. Also, a huge welcome to our audience coming all the way from Grand Bahama. And finally, you can also listen on the Global 99.5 FM app. So now that you know how to get in, let me go ahead and tell you what we're going to be talking about today, and then I'm going to bring my my guest into the studio. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of a term called mass psychosis, or mass formation, or mass formation psychosis. It's this interesting phenomenon where, like, somebody puts something out there and they are able to convince the masses that what they put out there is truth, whether it's truth or not. And then the masses fall in line and would fight to the death to defend this non-truth. Because as a group, having convinced a group that this thing is truth, the group takes on a new dynamic. Individually, the persons within that group may be able to discern what is truth and what is not, but collectively, this mass formation psychosis takes over, where under other circumstances, where right-thinking people would say, wait a minute, within a group setting, they lose their natural minds and fallen with this formation. And so, no matter what or how ridiculous the untruth is, because of this mass formation psychosis, people will believe a lie and fight to defend that lie to the end of the earth. Now, what does that have to do with today's show? I am calling today's show Coercion, Cowardice, and Consequences. I'm going to repeat that. Coercion, cowardice, and consequences. And the goal of this show will be to examine what happens within a society when right people thinking stand by and do nothing when they see wrongdoing because they are afraid of the backlash that they may get standing up and saying, "Emperor, you're bald naked." Everybody remembers that fairy tale story, right? Of the naked emperor, the emperor who wore no clothes. Because he had the power, he was the emperor. He's walking around bald naked, and everybody's saying to him, "Oh, emperor, I love your clothing. Aren't you dressed finely?" Mind you, they could see with their own eyes this man bald naked. But because the group is saying otherwise, they going along with the group. And then some innocent child comes up and says, "But you naked." Well, this is the world we live in today, y'all. In this world we live in today, we got a bunch of bald naked emperors running, people running around the place. Emperors running around the place, bald naked for like the day they born. And everybody falling into line, telling them what a beautiful attire they are wearing. And you could see, and I could see, and even the people who fall into this formation could see this emperor bald naked. It's called mass formation psychosis. Now, the challenge is when you have an entire society or an entire country or an entire region or an entire world falling into this trap, then it muddies the water for some as to what is truth and what is not real. And experts say the only way to fight against this mass formation is for somebody, as many people as possible, who could see the emperor naked to stand up and say, "No, you're naked." Because otherwise, it's like the masses fall into this trance. Their eyes could see what's wrong, but they ain't gonna say nothing. They going along with the crowd because they don't want to ruffle no feathers. This is the world we live in today. Now, before I bring in my guests, for those of you who have the privilege of watching on Facebook or YouTube, I want to just put a photograph up so you can see what I'm talking about. And for the record, this show today isn't just about one particular issue as it relates to mass formation psychosis, because we saw it happening with the pandemic. We see it now happening with this whole transgender movement. We see it happening in our everyday lives with politics, how people are afraid to speak out against what is wrong. So they go in with whatever the crowd say. We see this in our lives every single day. So for the record, this isn't just about one particular issue, even though we will discuss these various issues. This is about the whole concept of coercion, cowardice, and consequences. Because I dare say that if you stand by, I see my guest is having some connectivity problems because his camera keeps dropping in and out. If you stand by and allow people to put pressure on you to believe a lie and to defend that lie, then you are a coward. Now, if you ain't on the better, you ain't on the better. But some of y'all know better and refuse to stand up and say, "Emperor, you're bald naked," for fear of what is going to happen as a result of you speaking truth. What are the consequences of that? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Before I bring in my guest, I just want to put this picture up for our viewing audience to see. I'm a radio audience. I'm sorry you can't see this, but I'll do my best to describe it for you. So here we have an image from Glamour UK, Glamour magazine. And on the cover of this magazine, there is a quote unquote man, obviously a transgender man, that has a pregnant belly. Look about, I've never had a kid, but this looks about, say, what, 8 months pregnant? 9 months pregnant, maybe. It's 8 months pregnant. And they've got the male jacket open and they hold in this belly. And it says, trans pregnant proud. And the name of the person on the cover of this magazine is Logan Brown. So clearly Logan Brown is living life as a man, but didn't get rid of all the female parts. So Mr. Logan Brown is now pregnant. So in this crazy world we live in, they would expect you to accept and believe and swallow that a man could now be pregnant. This is the mass formation psychosis madness that these people are trying to push down our throats. Now, for all generations, let me bring in my guest. My guest, by the way, is Dr. Patrick Miller. Dr. Miller, welcome back to GPS.
Wonderful. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Glad
Hope
to have
everybody.
you back. All generations throughout all mankind, we understood what a man was and we understood what a woman was. And we knew that if you could carry a baby in the womb, by virtue of science and biology, that made you a woman. Now these people trying to tell us that gender isn't really about biology and science, but more so a social construct. And so a man could be pregnant with a baby, but still be a man. This is what these people are trying to shove down our throats. You see this huge debate now where it's talking about sex education in the schools and teaching our children about, it being normal to be, trans or you've seen the debate. It's happening throughout the United States. It's happening now throughout the Caribbean. There's rumbles about it happening here in the Bahamas. This debate as to whether or not these things should be taught in schools, etc. But like I said at the onset of this show isn't just about that, even though that will factor into this conversation. This show is about the cowards that we have living in this world today. The Bible tells you they'll be weaker, but wiser, but weaker. Bunch of yellow jellyback people who see the foolishness that is being shoved down our throat, whether it be from politicians or modern day pirates, whether it be from any kind of movement that has an agenda, whatever. They see the lies being shoveled. They know the truth. But because of cowardice, they just climb with the flow. And then one day everybody wake up and say, whoa, wait a minute. No, how does happen? How does happen? You know how it happened? When you saw the madness going on, you sat down and said and did nothing. And now you wake up and this thing's so far out the gate and this so far gone. Now you won't be talking about how this happened, how this happened. When you at the outset could have lent your voice to sanity. But oh no, I cannot say nothing because that might cost me my job. I cannot say nothing because as a doctor, if I speak out against what I know to be bad science. They might take my practice from me, and I can't say nothing because these politicians got plenty of power. And if I say anything, that could cost me my future, and I can't say nothing because if I say the wrong thing, then the whole alphabet community can come down on me. And Patrick, how we get here? Can we make it make sense?
Okay, first of all, that's a lot. I want to say, very, very interesting topic. I think today it's a timely one, and I want to thank God for you addressing and speaking on the issues that people in this day and time pretend as if it doesn't exist. But I want to start, and I know when we look at the whole dynamics of this, there's a lot of intricate parts that comes and plays a pivotal role that gets us to this place.
Right.
We have psychologically, physically, mentally, all of that plays a direct, definitive to the situation, but it all has to be dealt with fraction by fraction in its various clause, if you understand what I'm saying. So to try and to say, answer the question with one sound answer, that would be an oxymoron. I mean, that's impossible. But when we conglomerately put the answers that plays the pivotal role to the question, to answer it, once they come together, I promise it's gonna make sense. And if I believe by the end of the show, this all gonna make sense. So, and bring clarity. First of all, I want to say we have to always be mindful that whether we are spiritual, whether we are have different various beliefs, religious beliefs or religious practices, one of the things we have to always be cognizant of the fact is that we live in a real world. Once we understand that we live in a real world, whether country, region, nation, nationality, there are rules, regulations, laws, bylaws that runs a nation that are perceived to keep order and a structural system in place. In this day and time, one of the good things that we are thankful for, that our forefathers fought for, is the freedom of expression and the freedom of religious practice. That is something that now gives us the level playing field to be able to voice opinions if we stay in the parameters of what it is we are standing for. One might say, what is it I'm referring to? What I'm referring to, there always has to be a separation between church and state. Which means if you're going to be on this side, be on this side. If you're going to be on that side, be on that side. Because it puts you in the parameters of your rightful stance to be able to speak from the perspective in which you operate and function in. Am I making sense to you?
Break it down more for us, please.
Let me break it down more. If you're going to be a Christian and you say the Bible going to be your constitution, then that's what you got to stand and live by. The Bible put it this way: if God going to be God and you're going to serve God, serve God. But if Baal going to be Baal and you're going to be a sinner, be a sinner. You can't be the both. Because now, not only you're contradicting your message, but your message would be of no effect because you look like you're unstable. So now, one of the things you said when you open up today in your statement is that you are addressing those personnel that sees the wrong. So the operative word there is being able to see the wrong. I'm going somewhere, so it's very imperative you follow me. Most people will never see the wrong in something they're benefiting from. So the result of that is because of the mental capacity they put their minds in to say, I don't want to live in truth. Truth is when all the facts when you got all the facts there, all the evidence there. But when you choose not to believe that, then you're not living in truth or a lie. You are living in denial. That's when
Okay.
all the truth presents itself. The Bible says they decide to believe a lie over the truth. And how it does this? The one way this have to happen, you got to snare your conscience with a hot iron. So that's why we have to understand, for those that are standing, and I believe here for the kingdom, we understand the Bible say, our Constitution say, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. It says, but when the wicked rule, the people will always mourn. Now, for us to have an effect on this situation, we got to go to the foundation, which is the home.
Mm-hmm.
It have to be the foundation, because whatever we are taught in the home, whatever is, what's this, is our beliefs, in our rules, in our system of apparatus in our home, gonna be the beliefs and the practices we stand on. So to avoid even coming here with one of the dynamic, the first thing we have to address is the home and the type of parenting that is happening in the home. Because the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, that when they get old, what they have learned as the substratum, as the foundation, is the thing that will cause them to live the life on the principles and morals that they were taught. But this is the challenge now. When we don't infiltrate this, and parents are not in the home, this is the first part, then we're going to hit another point later, then what are we cultivating? We are cultivating a generation that we are forgetting, that is going to be the next lawyers, the next doctors, the next consul people, the next vice presidents, the next, all the voices of the world are going to be the generation that you are given a mandate to cultivate and to grow up with the principles, with the morals of good moral citizens. When that is not being executed, then we have a problem, because now you have the responsibility of this not in the hands of adults no more. You have it inside the hands of a generation who are children. Children are now having children. So the parents and the home is distorted, not to be able to foster that generation of children. That children ain't scared of nobody. They have their own religious belief, own system, own cultural belief. So now they having children, and what they are teaching them is a corrupt message. And now you have children at 18, 19, 17, 16, at 25 is the longest expansion life rate for this generation. Why? Because the first address has to happen in one stance is the home. Charity begins in home. Training begins at home, and the result thereof is abroad. So I felt if we're going to touch anything today, one of the first dynamics, and I don't feel like this is even a topic that we can do in one setting. So the first thing has to happen is we have to address the point of what type of parenting is happening in the home. Because children are not born racist. Children are not born bad. The Bible says foolishness is in the hearts of a child, but the rod keep it. They are taught. So I think the first thing we have to address is what are the generation seeing, experiencing, what is the foundational methods of living as civilized people. We got to find out what is the type of parenting that is going on. Because what people get away with and what is not addressed, then you're going to feel it is right. Because there is no repercussions for the action. And if you have a bunch of lawless, untrained, unparented people who have no repercussion for their actions, We were held accountable for our action. You couldn't be disrespectful. You had to obey your elders. You couldn't curse. You couldn't answer what. You couldn't do all these other things that we didn't get away with, but we allow our children to get away. So we fostered a new breed.
I just want to say this, though. You say there are no repercussions, but there are always consequences.
Yes. I mean by parenting. Let me clear it.
No, I get what you're saying. No repercussions, but there's always consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not discipline your child. Your child may start stealing candy and you think it's cute. And then they graduate to taking things out your bike or without asking, and you think that's cute. And then they graduate to taking money out your wallet and you think that's cute. And then they graduate to a little petty shop, stealing, and then you think that's cute. And then the next thing you know, your child in front of the magistrate for armed robbery. Ain't cute no more.
Thank you.
So whereas there may not have been, what is the word you use?
Repercussions?
Repercussions from you as a parent, there will be consequences.
Yes, they will.
It may take a little while, but there will be consequences. The thing though is that the home life is just, and I agree with you, this will probably take more than one show, because the home life is just one aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But you got big grown adults beyond the age of 25 who should have had better upbringing, or who know the difference between right and wrong, because they were raised right. Mm-hmm. But they decide that the way that they were raised was, not conducive to, they didn't like it, and they didn't raise their children that way, etc. And we see where you have this entire mass of people around the world who are just so willing to follow the line, to not say anything or do anything to ruffle any feathers, because I'm sorry if I offend anybody today, but I call them a spade today.
Yeah.
They aren't getting involved. They refuse to speak the truth because they are cowards. That's why I'm calling this show Coercion, Cowardice, and Consequences. And this isn't just happening on an individual level. We see leaders of nations who are supposed to be standing up for their sovereignty and their people kowtowing under the pressure of coercion from other nations.
All right.
Is it worth it? What are the consequences? We got to take a break.
Okay. Take a break, because I like it. Hold up point. That's a good point to come back on.
We got to talk about this on the other side of the break.
Yes,
right?
We can talk about this on the side of the break.
Let's do it. Stay with us. This is GPS. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix tire.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. You can call in at 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272. 326-0272. The WhatsApp line is 801-0271, 801-0271. That's for calls or messages. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm page or the official Global 99.5 FM page. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. You can also catch us on our official YouTube channels. And we are on Cable Bahamas, channel 974. And you can also catch us on radio, Global 99.5 FM, as well as on the Global 99.5 FM app. So however you get there, get online and join us to become a part of this show. I'm calling the show today Coercion, Cowardice, and Consequences. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
All is well, thanks. It resonated when I checked the Facebook page on coercion and whatnot. And you know, if Bahamians are going to stand aside and watch our human resources and our land resources, our ecological resources just being given away, then we got to stand up to fight against that, or don't complain when it's gone for future generations, right?
Right.
So I posted in the comment section of your Facebook page the information regarding the Royal Caribbean proposed use of Bahamian Crown land and private residential land over there on Paradise Island.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be having a town hall meeting 6:30 at Queen's College, where you could either participate at 6:30 this coming Thursday at Queen's College in person, or the link is there to participate online.
Okay.
But I believe that Bahamians really got to stand up and say no to this giving away of Crown land. How can Bahamians expect a good result for a foreign company to operate a Bahamian beach club and tell us how Bahamian culture is?
I hear you, my brother.
Yeah.
All right.
you. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks for calling, Toby.
My pleasure.
Toby
Okay,
Smith, in
bye.
case you didn't recognize his voice. Okay, Patrick. Dr. Patrick Miller is our guest today. The topic of discussion, in case you joined us late, is coercion, cowardice, and consequences. What happens when you have mass formation psychosis, when everybody falling in line with the group, when they could see with their own eye what is being shoved down your throat is absolute foolishness. But because you scared to stand against the crowd, you could just go right along with it. This is the problem we see in today's world. I've been saying for a little while now that the imaginary friends that we grew up with as children have taken over the world. So, Dr. Patrick, I know prior to the break, you wanted to make a point.
Yes, I sure do. Listen, okay, I want to start by saying this. Because of so many, I want to just strategically get to points that I feel that are very vital and crucial to what we're talking about today. So for those that goes into depth with all the systematic trends, please forgive me if I don't go with systematically, but based on the content that is hand, I'm going to just more narrow my more focus to the country I'm from, the Bahamas. All right. So with the mindfulness that we are also including a global conversation. Right. So I'm not being partiality. I'm not being having favoritism. I just want to direct it in the content of which matters most to me. I'm saying so that's what. So what I would say is this, starting from this dynamics, and I want to use the Bahamas because one of the things we emphasize on. I tell you, I speak all over the world. And everywhere where the world, one of the things I boast on about our beautiful country is the fact that we are a country that believes in Jesus Christ, that says we stand upon as a Christian nation, a country that where our prayer minister goes to church and have a national day of prayer. That is unprecedented. That is unheard of. And I boast on that. So now when I see my country, that say we lift up the bloodstained banner of holiness, now taking upon the imagery of that which we once opposed, is then when I got to speak out in reference to where I'm at. So please forgive me, I'm not being biased. So it's just for the love of my nationality and my beautiful country that I want to continue to be able to elaborate on wherever I go. With that being said, I'm coming from, now what's this now? The accountability that the leaders of our country, the Christian council, the governmental sector, who now, watch this, as your cultural belief says we stand upon a Christian, the biblical constitution, as guidelines to navigate us in our decision making in regards to the apparatus of our country. That is what I'm going to hold you, all of them, accountable to, if you understand what I'm saying. Because we have said this on the globe. So also the substratum of my argument in this parameters will be coming from the Constitution, in which we say as a general nation we stand upon. So with that being said, this is where it gets even better. So now the Bible tells us something that is very, 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 very significant. He says, a man without God is like a beast. What that means, a man that is a sinner, he's liable to do anything. A beast is untamable, untrainable. So because the Bible says, first of all, we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity, just like David, our justification of our action can be on the argument that our natural nature is to sin. With this regard, God being all knowing, understanding this, he now navigates the responsibility of executing these rules to just a certain demographic of people, which are called the children of God. If my people, which are called by my name, in other words, the ones that are amongst the ones who are say, I am the bloodstained banner of what God is saying through his word, the enemy of sin, the combater of unrighteousness. So my standards, my morals, my views, and my argument is not predicated on my feelings. Because from this perspective, as this candidate, I don't have a feeling. It's about what the word of God, what my constitution say, whether I like it or not, that's what I have to stand by. You following me?
Yeah.
So
To put it the way I like to continue right now, to put it the way
yeah.
Dr. Miles Monroe always used to say, when it comes to this, I don't have an opinion. I
Mhm.
refer to what is written. It is written.
Thank
I
you.
don't have an opinion. So go
I
ahead.
don't have no opinion. Yes, we don't have
Mhm.
no opinion. So the Bible says, while we slept, the ones who supposed to be on the guard, while we got comfortable, while we start compromising, evil men crept in and contaminated the truth.
Yes.
The Bible
Yes.
says, turning the truth into a lie.
Mhm.
Now watch this. He said, now in the last days, many gonna be deceived by this lie. Because not only they have an itching ear and the cause of the time, it's because it is no longer about what is written, it's now but what is accepted. So not because it's widely accepted
Makes it right.
means it's right.
Mhm.
And I feel the first delusion we have in all of this is that people feel if that country doing it, that country allowing it, that got them in power, that got them, because it's so widely accepted, then we feel out of place. We feel out of sync. We feel out of the time. So to be a part of the time, we have to make a lie the truth. Why? Now we accept it. So we call it coming into the time. Okay.
We call it
So
being woke.
being woke, you understand? Being woke. So he comes and he says, okay, then, if you're going to be woke, this is what he says to us, to the selected. He said, understanding in the Constitution, he said, do business with them, learn from them, work with them. He said, but means forget everything I just said. What I'm about to say is more important. He said, but don't marry them and don't take upon their gods. Because the minute you do that, you can't touch wrong no more. Because now you can't touch what you benefiting from.
Okay.
You see this? So now my hands ain't tied because I don't see the truth. My hands ain't tied because I don't know the truth. My hands are tied because if I speak the truth, that car I fronting everybody, I can lose that. That house I living in that I join all them parties with, I'm gonna lose that. That ministry I got, the people gonna leave. The influence I have, the politicians ain't gonna talk to me no more. So what happens is my relevancy becomes more important than my ministry.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Your first title with saying the emperor naked and dare not to say emperor, you naked. When we have, I can speak about this, Bahamas, when we have the gatekeepers that's supposed to be the representative of God on this earth, that we see governments pass and even now are tie the hands of the gatekeepers, shut down them, give them the position. When you look, there are 6 senior pastors that government have on their list in these various places that they know they liberated and seen what is taking place in this Bahamas. But because I am benefiting from this, I am benefiting from my church getting paid, I ain't got nothing to say. We have seen these things back in biblical with the prophet. And because we now get all of this problem, they are afraid to stand up and speak the truth, because when they speak the truth, I cannot be no more. My job to the prison is gone. My job to the defense force is gone. And I'm talking about these people as big advisors to these places. These what I just calling off. And we find out why we don't have the solution, because why? They don't have an answer. They make the government believe that because they carrying a title, bishop or an apostle, they have an answer. And when we look, they don't have an answer, because why? They are disconnected from the Creator. When you supposed to be the gatekeeper, you have supposed to be connected with God. And when you lose that, because you want to run after these positions, what happened? The country will be going like this. Where is the Daniel? Where's the Shadrach them? Daniel, even though the king trained these men in his palace, but when it come now to taking a stand, they say, no, king. We will not bow. Daniel said, we will not. Daniel said, I am not going to sit down and drink your wine and eat your meat to your idol gods. I will take a stand. How many of the gatekeepers we see will march on Bay Street and take a stand and say, if I got to lose my church, my home, because what? The word of God say, you shall suffer greatly for my name's sake. Are we seeing it in the Bahamas? No. We seeing everything just goes lucky by lucky, and the small people, they are fighting. They are trying to make it. When they seeing these gatekeepers supposed to stand up for righteousness, nothing's happening. When government supposed to have a spiritual advisor to the government to let the government know, governor, listen here, you going wrong. This way you going is a wrong way. That's why we don't have no one ready to tell the government, and the government is struggling because they are trying to find out, how can we fix this crime? How can we fix NIB? How can we do this? Because why? The people around them, it's not giving them the good advice. They're not advising them. And because that's why we have all of this now. Everybody want to be advisor. But nobody is giving the government a good sound advice to go. When the country is going down south, government, thus said the Lord. The Lord said, do not do this like this. Mm-hmm. The Lord said, do not go this way. When Joseph is down and when Egypt was going down under, when Joseph had to tell Pharaoh about these lame cows and stuff like that. And you see what happened? So when you have a man of God is standing up and letting government know what thus said the Lord, Daniel said, King Nebuchadnezzar, I don't have the answer, but I know a God who have the answer. Okay, Michelle? Mm-hmm. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for calling.
I think, Michelle, hold up. I want to say something that why it's just caught fresh in my mind about something. Mm-hmm. And something told in my spirit that I think we have to now navigate something. I feel right now in this moment now, that we kind of shift the narratives a little bit and try to change the accountability process. Mm. Because when you think about it, the people we complaining about, we put them there.
Listen.
We put them in.
Listen. I'm just waiting for you to finish making your point so I could play a clip from the late Dr. Miles Monroe. But go ahead and make your point.
Yes. The point I'm making is this. The indoctrination of soliciting and selecting a political party, I think the psychological mentality that we have in our country that has been embedded us from youth, we need to change. My family was a PLP, so I'm a PLP. My daddy was a PLP, so it's a PLP house. So where it is not about if they're being just, they're being fair, if the government is being, no, my party in power, so I gonna get favor. When my party ain't in power, I stay quiet. I talk against the party in power. So we have selective accountability. I think the challenge comes in if we look at the day over the last two elections globally over the last 2 years, governments was not changed because of a political party. Governments was forced out because of people come together from social media, very platform, and say enough is enough in our country, and we're gonna take a stand. Whether gangs came together, Crips and Blood came together, churches, nationality, everybody came together. Look out to the last 2 years and say, you know what? We're gonna force the change because now we're gonna hold the people we put there accountable for their actions. And when the nation begins to put the people that they pay, because you are a representation for us in this area, we can't be able to speak. You are our voice. When the people begin to hold these politicians accountable, when the people begin to hold these pastors accountable, nobody told you to go up there and campaign and be a politician. Nobody told you and asked you to go up there and be a pastor. You said you wanted the accountability of being a public figure. So we are just holding you accountable, to the standard that comes with it. You sell us a dream that that you told us you were going to do right. The problem comes in, excuse me, we give them too much break. We're giving you 5 years to prove yourself. And if you don't do what you say in your 5 years, on to the next one. You staying in here as long as you do right, not because you fail. Some people know. And until Bahamian people recognize that whether it's your party or not, every decision that the government make is going to affect everybody. That's why the Bible says you got to pray for those that have the rule over you, because whether you like it or not, the decisions they're making is going to affect you. And the problem is we always wait till we have to experience the error of it in our personal door before we make noise. But prevention is better than the cure. So it is time for the Bahamian people to think about your generation after you, to think about your country for when you die, for what your children have to live in, and make a stand and say, you know what? We don't care who you are. We put you there and we're going to take you out. They know that. But as long as we stay separated and we stay divided and all we concern is about our own lot, the generations that you are trying to, that you are trying to grow, cultivate, and the country that you so love, you know where you're going to fall in the hands of? Like other nations where you build a house, build the hotels, furnish them out, but you gotta, in order to live in it, you gotta pay because some other person ruling it. So you have no say in your own country. You can't even enjoy your beaches. You can't even go down to the fish fry and stay without being sent home. You can't even take a path and shortcut and say I going in the water to fishing. You can't even say I go without you being hauled back, because why? Not the government, not your auntie, not your great, because some Indian, some Chinese, some Iranian, somebody from they own the land that God has entrusted you with. And now what you do, because calamities and we allow ourselves, what is the natural resources? I'm gonna say this and end this right here. A lot of people don't understand. Gaddafi was not killed because he was a bad man. His country prospers under his leadership. The reason why they killed Gaddafi, because Gaddafi told them, when I get in power, I'm gonna teach Africa how to get all of their natural resources to back their money.
That's the problem.
The diamonds, the gold, the oil. I'm going to show you how to come together as a unit and use your natural resources to back your dollar. Could you imagine if he had pulled that off?
No, he was looking to get killed.
So this is the thing. Natural resources are the things that your country grow naturally. You don't have to plant it. You don't have to cultivate it. It grows naturally. And as you sit down and get crumbs, you are allowing these government people, because everybody getting these side pocket pay, to get rid of the thing that keep your dollar 1-to-1 with the world's currency, that keep your banking sector open, that keep you as a black people to have a black face on a dollar that goes neck to neck with America. And as a proud black Bahamian, you can stand in the midst of any country. But if you continue to sit down and say nothing in the next 10 years, watch which side gonna be your cry.
I want to play a clip as we go to this break. I want to play a clip and then we're going to go to the break. And just for the record, I was planning another show for today. That show fell through. I reached out to Dr. Patrick Miller this morning.
Yes, sir.
And asked him if I had to change directions, if he would do this show. He and I have not had an opportunity to discuss the contents other than me telling him what the theme of the show was. So it ain't like we planned this. But I pull clips, as I always do, that I think are relative to what we're going to be talking about. And it's amazing what he just finished saying when you consider what you're going to hear now from the late Dr. Miles Monroe. Check this out.
Whenever you decide to become yourself, you become lonely. Right. Because everyone around you wants you to be like them, or they want you to be them. So when you discover that you are unique, you are special, you are important, and you decide to become who you are and achieve what you were dreaming, loneliness is the result. And I say this many times, and in my books I write about this, that every true vision only has one believer first. And it's the person who have that vision. Wow. And that's what makes it lonely. But what attracts people to you is when you decide that you don't care if you're lonely, you're still going to pursue the vision. That's right. So it's the desire to use your aloneness properly that makes people come to you. You're no longer alone. And so I have been alone most of the time. I'm lonely now because a leader is always lonely because they are out front. There's no one out there with them. I want you to think about it. If you have everyone around you, then you're part of the crowd. That's true. So leaders they live a lonely life, but they chose that loneliness. And that's important. You have to choose to be alone if you're going to change the world. And every great leader in history, as you study them, they really found their true self when they was alone. You know, Moses was in the wilderness, Jesus Christ in the desert, Paul went to the desert, you know. And so when you pursue something that is more important than the crowd, you end up leading the crowd. Wow. Someone said you cannot lead an orchestra unless you turn your back to the crowd. Think about it for a minute. Wow. Yeah, so if you're going to be the leader, you got to turn your back on the crowd, and then you can lead life.
Amen.
And I'm going to see if I can find that to upload that, because for the life of me, I had some real challenges uploading videos for the show today. But one of the clips I found with Dr. Monroe, I thought that was the one, but
Yes.
another one. He talked about the difference between leadership and statesmen.
Mm-hmm.
How leaders, modern day leaders, are making decisions so they could be voted back in the next 5 years.
Yes.
Statesmen make a decision for future generations to come. So they ain't just worried about doing what they think they need to do to get back in. They are looking to put systems in place that will affect generations long after they are gone. And those are the people that we need to be looking for to support when it comes to any type of general election. But again, our problem is we so busy following this gang culture or this tribal culture where it's all about my party. And I could see the wrong that they doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's wrong. But I ain't gonna say nothing because either I'm compromised or I benefiting from it, or I think my time coming when I could get something from it. And this is our time to reap now. Y'all had y'all 5 years, this is our time now. And then the next 5 years, like you say, the people rise up, they get tired, they bring in another, and we have this cycle going back and forth and back and forth. And at the end of the day, 10, 15, 20 years later, we wake up and we realize our country has not progressed at the level and speed that it should have. Why? Because we continue to play these stupid political games.
Amen.
To allow these people to coerce us into accepting or ignoring what we know is wrong. We continue to be cowards in the face of it. And then we put our hands up in the air when the consequences come and the chickens come home to roost. And we say, how we get here.
I'm going to say this, Mr. I want to put it before we go to break.
Okay,
Something you said before we go into a quick break.
Mm-hmm.
The problem comes in is election. You got 5 years. I always say people picking the right candidate ain't as hard as people make it. Every election, if you know, the one thing you always see is a conglomerate of new people you never heard about. Who they gotta convince you is good enough to make the change. They never, watch this, talk about what they did. They have no proven track record. You don't even know them, but you selected them to run your community. When you have all of them philanthropists for the last 5 years in the parks, feeding, proving themselves that they are the people's people. But you want to, because like you say, it's your party. You want to look beyond what has been proven and get something you don't even know because they tell you they're going to do. And that's who you put up there. And now watch this. You trying to relate to something you can't even identify to. I'm going to stop there for now.
Yeah. That's a heavy one right there. Okay. We're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue this conversation about coercion and cowardice and consequences. What happens when you fall into the trap of mass formation psychosis and you just climb with the crowd because you don't have the backbone to stand up and say right is right and wrong is wrong. And for the record, on the other side of the break, we're going to get a little deeper because this isn't just an individual phenomenon. This isn't just a party phenomenon. This is now becoming a global
phenomenon. You're right about it.
The other side. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing Fast Acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blasted loud.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Nassau, the Bahamas. We are talking today about coercion, cowardice, and consequences. And if you want to get in on the conversation, well, here's how you do so. The telephone numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272. The WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM and official Michelle Malcolm pages. Be sure to like and share the show if you haven't already done so. You can also watch us on our official YouTube channels, and you can catch us on the Global 99.5 FM app, where you can watch all the shows that we offer here or listen to them. And we'd love to have you become a part of the show. If you want to do so, you can watch us on Cable Bahamas, channel 974, and on your dial on radio at Global 99.5 FM. My guest today is Dr. Patrick Miller, and I believe we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle, to you and your guest.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Wow, that statement that you made before going to commercial break was a very, very powerful one. What he talked about, how our dollar is on par. You have people who are very intimidated by us when we can move as one cohesive body as a people of color. And I just finished talking to my class about dreaming big, about pursuing these things, Michelle, but the thing about it is that when your people aren't educated in the ways they need to be to be able to affect change in their society, I think that is to the detriment of everyone. And that is what those persons would want. They want to keep the status quo. They want to keep us ill-informed. And, you know, education these days, sad to say, is seen as a taboo norm by many, you know, with the onset of social media. You know, we're leaving the internet and social media to educate our children.
My God.
And, you know, it's a sad scenario. We have many Bahamians who are not informed on the issues. You know, education is so important, especially with national issues and current issues that concern our nation, you know, and that's why they're able to come in and take away what belongs to us, because we're not informed on the value of these things. And many of us don't want to be. As long as these immediate needs are met, we really don't care. We don't see beyond today. And our people have an issue dreaming big, knowing that they can accomplish these things.
Yes.
No, and it's something that you have to pour into your people every single day. And unfortunately, those people with sinister motives depend on us being inept, you know, and being daft about these things.
You are right on point. You are right on point.
We just have to continue to educate our people in the right ways. They must be informed of these things, you know, and from where we really came, we must know we weren't slaves. We were beautiful, intelligent, powerful people who happen to be enslaved.
Yes.
You know, and so we need our people, our children, to know these things. And then I think the movement will be even more powerful as Bahamians. Thank you so much.
Listen, Call, I want to say thank you for calling and making such a powerful contribution. It's amazing you talk about who we were in Africa and you know, the strength that we had as a people, because we see where the African in modern day 2023 is having to fight back even more, because they too are now being bombarded by the naked emperor, and the powers that be are telling them as the norm or else, and some of them are bowing to the coercion, you know, walking with a tail between their leg and saying, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. And then there are others like Zambia who are pushing back and saying, hold up now. Not so fast. We may not have all of the resources that you have, but we are still a sovereign nation with values. Here now is a clip from a representative of Zambia speaking to an international gathering about Zambia not being willing to just take the coercion. I'm trying to find a nice way to say these things.
That's the best way right there.
They ain't willing to accept the coercion. They stand up and say, no, we still have backbone. Check this out.
Let me move to the next issue, which I spoke about earlier, the LGBTQI position. As the Patriotic Front, we beseech Zambians, all of us Zambians, as a people, not to allow the United States of America to impose its values in Zambia. This is not a duty only for the Patriotic Front. Hear me right. This is the duty of every Zambian. We must defend ourselves. Since both bilateral relations and foreign assistance of the United States is being tied to LGBTQI rights, Zambia may have to review its relationship with the USA, as the country should not abandon its norms, its national values, religious and cultural standing to please the Americans. The documents that I've referred to, I also quoted them. All of them are making reference to the fact that their aid, their support must be tied to the relationship with Russia and China on one hand, and the upholding of the human rights of the LGBTQI. If their support, if their bilateral relations with us is going to be subject to those conditions, then time has come for us in Zambia to start asking our questions. Is it worth a while? Remember that the Patriotic Front has been firm and steadfast on the matter. When President Edgar Chagwa Lungu was asked this question, he said very bluntly, if your money is tied to us changing our values, losing our religious orientation, keep your money. We shall keep our values.
Very powerful statement. Is it worth the while? But if you elect and continue to elect a bunch of jellyback, yellow belly, spineless people who are not going to stand up against the coercion of the superpowers and others and say, no, you are not going to dictate to us what we are going to be as a people, then you are open season. It is what it is, people. We gotta call the naked emperor naked and stop pretending that he fully dressed when you know you could see with your own eye this man bald naked as the day he born. We have to do it as individuals. We have to do it as a community. We have to do it as a nation. Otherwise, Dr. Miller, I would say that we are at serious risk, and maybe we are already there, of losing who we are as a people. Is it worth the while?
I think I would say this. Something I always say when I address at certain times is that when you don't know who you are, people will tell you who you are. America, I think people have to understand, America is not hated because of their beliefs, because of their mechanisms and the way they operate, because America really don't have an identity. It's a conglomerate of everybody around the world. But the problem,
melting pot, yes,
they're the melting pot. But the problem people have with America is when you want to come, watch this now, and tell me what I'm doing and kept me all these years is taboo.
And I gotta accept your culture, or don't look for your aid, or don't look for your pre-clearance, because they like to put our head. Oh, we can take pre-clearance from y'all if y'all don't toe the line. Call I can get you in a second, so just hold. We have a call on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, caller. Welcome.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Amos Junior Miller here. Doctor.
Okay, you must be in a bad area because it's like you're coming in and out of the matrix. We can't hear what you're saying. You might want to get into a better area and call us back, okay? Because
could you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Michelle, the issues that you are dealing with today, the issue, in my humble opinion, again, no one who have suffered under the hand of this darkness by the world police. So the clips say, the gentlemen say they have to examine the relationship under this progressive liberal party, Philip Brave Davis, anyone in the F&M. Will never happen. No examination. Okay? The homosexualism and lesbians, king and queens, they were promoted by politicians and religious leaders who are homosexuals or lesbians. Amos Junior Miller, I'm not 53 for nothing. 5 + 3 is 8. This earth was created for Amos and his 3 children to live in. And let me tell you, I'm the woman who had them for me. Even though she don't want me no more, she has someone else. And I could choose 999 different nationality of women to have another 3 children with. Let me tell you all something. I ain't scared of America, but I respect America. Don't come on this radio talking and disrespecting America and their corruption politically speaking. The American law don't play. Let me let all of you all know this. And every political leader in America who are caught committing crime, they go to jail, some of them for hundreds of years.
Right. But who?
Don't play with America.
But who on the show? But hold on, Amos, take a breath.
You're throwing your rock at Amos, Junior Miller, and my 3 children who have nothing to do with no PLP and F&M.
Take a breath. Who on this show
Not yet,
is disrespecting
Give me
America?
2 seconds more and I gone.
Amos,
yeah, finish.
For you.
Finish your
2
point.
more seconds, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
I love you and I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
But Michelle,
he's just passionate.
Okay. I respect the women in this country. Why? The house what covers my head when my Bahamas government snitched on the people. Y'all didn't know. I told the people because of what I was saying about our nation and our people and what the Bible say about us. Because the system didn't know. I knew some of the facts that are now brought to this glorious, marvelous light in the universe. From all of us who have called these talk shows, Michelle, what I'm saying, the ladies in the Bahamas who having children, I'm not going to let them lose their children over no natural resources. The life of their children over no natural resources. Amos Jr. will never let that happen. We met it here and we're going to leave it here. Now, this is what we're doing. The government never commit no crime. Who committed crime is the political people reachers. And I don't want a small minority to keep flying in the face of the majority of the people who voted PLP and F&M. One side of the 2 of them won. And some of y'all vote the other people and they didn't get their money back. Let us have some kind of respect so we can show the world, like American people, how to have respect for their American president. Why? Because they say the Americans say they will be the world's police. And I'm telling them my children ain't paying no national debt for no corrupt criminals who have committed treason in 53 years. And you're all even in 50 years yet. Now I digress.
Yeah.
I want to say something about Amos' point. Amos is very passionate. I appreciate his passion. Some good point. But this is the thing. As a Bahamian citizen that resides in America and also a taxpayer, a pivotal voice in the city that I'm in, one of the not only a community activist, but one of those the government has recognized because of my major contribution to the city, also around the world. I think at some level I have the right to talk because I contribute to America. As I said, I'm legal here. I pay tax here. I own stuff here, so I got the right to speak. So I want to speak on something. I think when we address certain things and we address certain issues, the challenge comes. One of the caller called earlier, and she said something that I believe, Michelle, you got it. Some people got it, but it flew over people's head. And I think the operative word that she used that stood out was education. And I found out with Bahamians, I'm talking from a Bahamian living in America, we are not only passionate, we are very emotional people. And we have made a lot of emotional decisions, whether it be on a major platform, whether it be in government, whether it be from the secular arena. There's a lot of decisions we have made emotionally because we felt a certain way at the time. And then my grandma used to say something: your feelings will get you somewhere and leave you right there. As I said, your feelings will get you in trouble, and your feelings gonna leave you right in trouble and never come back to you. And so our feelings has gotten us in a lot of trouble. I always say this: we can't change the past, but we can learn from the past, adjust our present, and change our future. When you have a group of people who are speaking on behalf of a demographic of people but are not knowledgeable on the point, the only thing gonna fly around is emotional thoughts that have no substratum. That's why they say in America, if it ain't written, it ain't real. What I want to say is this: I'm gonna speak from an educational standpoint of one who like to follow the economy. When you talk about America, you can't boast on a country's success when their national debt is in the trillions. And you ain't paying your debt. The only thing you're doing is printing more money. So what happened is, globally, there is a demise on the American dollar. This global demise does not affect the Bahamas because of our neutral standpoint throughout the world. To understand what I'm saying, technically don't have time to go to, you have to technically understand something that is called the triangular trade. Why do you think a country with over 200,000 people, no military, no army, and in the middle of all of these countries that are backing, that are having issues, nobody is messing with us? It's because of our geographical location. In other words, if America cut us off, we don't have to care. Your enemies, Russia and China, will pick us up. Because of our geographical location, we have to be neutralized and friends with everybody because we give away the most expensive thing for free. Cuba recognized this. And Cuba, a little island nation, holds America by the pants. You know why? Because they recognize in order for you to get where you going, you need to cross my airspace. If not, go all the way around. Because of our geographical proximity, the one thing the Bahamas has that nations are very, very, very aware of, that we hold in our hands, is our airspace that we give free in the triangular trade, which means that anything that moves around the world has to pass through our airspace.
They're starting to charge for it now.
Okay, so now the thing about this is because of this, it put us in a very valuable place. It put us in a very valuable position. So what the world nations like America and other countries realize, if we can't own it, all we need to do is control it. And if we control it, we can pick the rules, the regulation. Who figured this out? The Port Authority in Freeport. No matter what government you put in power, FNM, PLP, DNA, as long as you sign the Port Authority right, the Bahamas government cannot help Freeport because it has its own governmental system. You call it interdependent. So all they're going to ever share to the Bahamas is a bunch of promises because of documentation. The Bahamian government encouraged the Bahamian people to sign to give foreigners rule over their country. And that's why they're stuck now. And the same thing is about to happen in Nassau and throughout the other islands of the Bahamas if the Bahamian people don't take a stance. Now, I heard Mr. Hemo said he ain't going to let nobody none of his children or wife die or suffer because of no natural resources. It's the people like him I trying to keep quiet because he don't understand this thing.
Okay.
It's people like him because your natural resources empowers your dollar. Think about Haiti. Look at the natural resources Haiti give, but who runs it? America. Look at this. Look at what success that gives them. So what I'm saying today is, as an independent nation, it gives us the right to be independent thinkers. When you become independent, you are telling this all independent. The Declaration of Independence, the independence of the Bahamas. This all. London was an island nation that owned 80% of the world. And what we tell London, our mothers, is say, "Hey, we independence means we can handle our own affairs. We could take care of our own business." So if we didn't want to be an independent nation, and we didn't want to be governed, and we want to be governed by another country, we should have not become independent. Now, as being independent, we are able to stipulate and decide what rules, what regulation is going to run our country. And because we have put the substratum as a Christian nation, and we decide to make God our King, Jesus Christ, Lord of Lords, that means homosexuality is not a discussion for this nation. That means all of these other stuff corrupt should not be a discussion, because as a part of our Constitution, it is wrong. And until we decide to say the people that manipulate us, because you notice every election, they come with scriptures, they come with texts, they in the churches, preachers are letting them in their pulpit, they are using the foundation of God to be their leader when they get into these positions. And the problem is, we put them in with that expectation, but now we hold them to a different accountability when they get in.
We have a caller on our WhatsApp line. Caller, welcome to GPS. Hello, caller.
Michelle.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm very grateful for the but you see,
you're breaking up
when
again. You're breaking up again.
I don't have you on speaker.
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you better now. Go ahead
So
now.
the young man you have on, I don't want to call him a jackass.
Language, please.
But to me,
language,
that's what
please.
he sound like. No,
Language.
I just saying that ain't a cuss. That ain't no cuss.
Well, it depends on what Erica says, but continue.
Now, in the context. So let him take it in the context of how I really wanted it to be taken. Now let's talk sense.
Go ahead.
The so-called rights. Him, Dr. Patrick Miller. This Amos Miller talking to you. I sure it's a Miller from Auckland. I sure use no Miller, bro.
Listen, Amos.
Because the prime minister says he's the prime minister.
Amos. Get to your point, or you
let
get
me
cut.
get to my point and leave.
Because I'm
listen.
wasting no time.
He said something about silencing me, you see? And I didn't hear you stop him and say, no, everyone should have a right to speak.
I'm going to clarify what I said.
Which you are doing now.
What I say, I'm the person you want to stop.
You speaking now.
Communicating their point of view.
I open the doors to this show
our
for everybody to speak.
Our Constitution.
Go ahead. We listen and talk.
What we have today. Do you already think that?
You're breaking up again.
We got it from white or blue.
You're breaking up, Amos. We're not understanding what you're saying. You're breaking up. So
I'm going to get him on another call. Tell him to get a clearer line, because I can't make out what he said to even hear his argument.
Yeah, I think you need to call us back. Get in a better area or something and call us back.
First of all, let me tell you something, Mr. Amos. Mr. Amos, I am not emotionally attached to this conversation. I understand what you're saying, even in the language that you use it. So I'm not offended, but I understand we have debates all the time. One of the things I have to say is this. Love is an action word. Love is an action word.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say you love your country and stand by and watch something you love be destroyed. It's like your children. You get your child you love right now. I don't care how much you try to play tough, you try to hide. If your enemy got your child with a gun to the head and is cutting off the fingers, you ain't gonna keep that's your child a secret for no longer, because you cannot take what they are doing to that child. So you have to say something, even if you know you're gonna fail. Your mentality is, at least I'm gonna try, and if I'm gonna die trying.
We have the caller back on the line. Caller, welcome back to the show.
Go ahead.
Hello,
Michelle.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I'm clear now. You can speak. Yes. Yeah, that's clear.
Good. That's a lie. That's the technology that we're living in. I'm saying to you today that the Constitution was lost before the Constitution was. What did y'all on? No, not according to the Bible now. According to the world system.
Amos, I don't know if it's Amos, I don't know why, but you
can't understand him. He's breaking up real bad.
Too much. You're breaking up too much.
We can't hear. We have to go to another caller because he's taking up time. Get him on the phone.
Understand what you're saying. Try calling us on the regular line, okay? Because honestly, it's very difficult to understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, we understand.
We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, Lady Malcolm, and good afternoon to your guest, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon.
Wonderful, Lady Malcolm. I know your show is among the top one, two rated shows in the country now. You wake hard for this show. Now, I am listening with interest, but I don't think your show should be go to that level with Amos trying to take that. Now, Amos then called. He made his contribution. Everybody has his contribution to make, as well as your guest. And the only reason I called today, because it's a nice show, good show today, is that utter nonsense with Amos running on should not be allowed, man. Once he didn't make his contribution, you shut him off the next time.
Okay.
Because he might say something that is not allowed. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you for calling. The numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line 8010271, 8010271. In case you joined us late, the topic of discussion today is coercion, cowardice, and consequences. What happens when we as a people, as a society, as a nation stand by and see the wrong that is being shoved down our throats, whether it be from our own political leaders, whether it be from foreign entities, whomever. And because we're scared of the repercussions or consequences that could happen if we speak out, we just go with the flow. And then we wake up one day and we wonder how we get here. That's what the show is about today. Coercion, cowardice, and consequences. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company, along with Dr. Patrick Miller, who's my guest today. In case you tuned in late, the topic of discussion today is coercion, cowardice, and consequences. Before we dive back into the conversation, I want to read something. And you would have heard me read this before, perhaps at another time, but I think it bears repeating. It's a well-known bit of prose by Martin Niemöller. I hope I pronounced that right, or Niemöller, I'm not sure. It says, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. The show's topic today: coercion, cowardice, and consequences. What happens when you, as an individual or collectively, decide to fall in with the mass formation psychosis that has taken over the world, whether it be in politics, whether it be in social movements and agendas, whether it be the pandemic, whatever it is. You standing by and you seeing the wrong that's happening, but you ain't about to speak out because you're afraid of the consequences. We have a caller on WhatsApp. Caller, welcome back to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Amos, is you again? Is this you, Amos?
I'm trying to make my point.
Make it real quick, please. Make it real quick because we're running out of time.
And I know you're running out of time, and I know once you should have call us out for a comment that is not what the show is producing. It turns a different type of spirit. Mr. Let me explain something to you, bro. Smile. Keep smiling. I have 3 children. I done tell your prime ministers long before. I don't know how old you is.
Amos, get to the point, because I have somebody waiting on a cell phone, and I'm not going to let you run.
Cut somebody up. Yeah, cut somebody up.
We're trying to elevate this conversation.
Okay. You know what? Forget what Mr. Miller. I can end this right here. Anyone who have no children can't have children. Can't tell Amos, Junior Miller country, what to do in this country and fly in the face of America.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
3
calls today. Thanks for calling. Let's go. We lost that caller. Okay, caller, please call back.
I want to make a point here.
Okay.
When I always say this to people, I think it's going to be a valid point. I said, I've been moving for a long time. I've lived a lot of places, lived in a lot of countries. And coming to America and moving to America to further engraft and further do, one of the things that played a pivotal role was where would I reside as headquarters. And as my headquarters. And
let's take a pen on that, Patrick, because this is
the caller?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let the caller come in. Go ahead.
Caller, welcome to the show.
Madam Michelle.
Okay.
No.
Can you hear me, Madam Michelle?
No, Amos, not today. Not today. Oh, that's Dr. P. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. P. Go ahead.
I'm on the road picking up my grand.
Uh-huh.
And I want to salute you and the gentleman that you have in there. But Madam Michelle, I want to say to all men, until we understand, myself and Madam Michelle are in agreement today.
Yeah.
Until we understand this conspiracy, we cannot fight this in the flesh.
No.
We have to first acknowledge ourselves and turn ourselves back to God.
Thank you.
One, you must have a relationship with your children. Your biological children, you cannot have a voice if you don't have a biological, if you don't have a relationship with your biological children, the mother of your children, and also the relationship with your mother. This is a conspiracy to destabilize the traditional family structure. Persons we have elected who do not believe in the traditional family structure. We see it daily, right here locally. We see it internationally. There's no conversation. So my time just about gone on my phone. But Madam Michelle, I salute you today. I salute you. I send you a beautiful song. Play it on your phone, and that will bring you comfort.
Thanks for calling, Dr. P. I want to throw this out there. Right? Let's go even deeper. But there's a whole other show within itself.
Yes.
Let's go even deeper. I want to throw something out today. What if, and no doubt, okay, if you say this is an attack against the family, but what if we dig a little deeper and see this as an attack against women? And let me explain what I mean by that. And yes, I agree in the foundation and I agree in the family structure. But if you go back to the Bible, right, it talks about how, when they had the fall of man, etc., it said that the seed of the woman will bruise. How'd it go, Pastor?
The head of the serpent.
The head of the serpent. And ever since that pronouncement, there has been an all-out war against the seed of the woman. Now you might say, but women don't have seed.
The offspring.
I want you to go a little deeper. Now, if we change the construct so that a woman ain't necessarily a woman no more, and you could just change some body parts and then call yourself a woman, and you could replace the natural biological woman. I'll put it this way. Somebody said to me, if you take 3 transgender women and 3 biological males, and you put them on a deserted island, and you come back 100 years later, what would archaeologists discover? They would discover the skeletons of 6 men. They ain't gonna be able to decipher who thought they was woman and who thought they was man. They will, from a biological, scientific point, be able to identify the remains of 6 men. But again, this is another show.
Yes.
It's an attack against women.
Good point. I like your point. Very, very interesting. Something I would say this, because I promise you it is another show, and very sitting here, I concur in many ways, but the elaboration of it is so deep that like the elaboration of, because it will touch a lot of and ruffle a lot of feathers.
Yes.
And a lot of perceptions and ideology based on going into that. But what I would say is this, this is what I want to say, because I know our time, and if you do need me to come on again and continue this, please feel free to reach out. But I want to say this. I want to paint a picture before I end my remarks today.
Right.
This for every Bahamian parent, every person that is everybody that lives there, reside there. I want to paint this picture.
Hold on, before you paint the picture, we got a call on the cell phone. Let's take this call on the cell phone. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Madam Michelle.
Uh-huh.
I want to apologize for my minutes run out, and picking up grants you have to. But I know time is just but gone.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Michelle, look at this. This month is recognized of Pride, Gay Pride Month.
Make it quick, Dr. B. Make it quick.
And Madam Michelle, there is no cry of a day for the traditional family structure. What's that? Homicide daily. You talk about the homicide, and you also alluded that the men losing our seed. But until our colleagues call our pastors, take their head out of Delilah lap, they are still asleep, and we will continue to sleep, and these issues will flood this country like a wave.
All right. Thanks for calling. Because I want Patrick to make his final point before we have to get off there. We only have 5 minutes left on the air.
Okay, so make it fun. That's what I want to make. I want to paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Make it quick. And this is for every Bahamian, every person, every individual that say they love their country. I'm going to paint a picture.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if you catch a flight, come home to your country, and when you come to your country after a week of vacation, you recognize everything has been changed. There's been a new system, and this system indicates that from now on, when you go to school, when you drop your kids to school, the education is going to be not a curriculum based on learning, but a curriculum based on preference.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that if you believe in witchcraft and hoodoo, and that's your belief, your religious practice, freedom of religion, then you're free to be taught that.
Mm-hmm.
If your practice and your family believe in transgender and children, women and men, boy and girl could use the same bathroom at the same time, then you are free to do that. If you believe that, okay, when you come to your country, that no matter who it is, where they're from, once they can afford it, the government have the right to sell it to them, whether there's natural resources or not. And you believe that the only people that get government assistance are those who they feel like need it more than others.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter nationality, doesn't matter race, doesn't matter how you got here. As long as you are here, you have the right, first come, first serve basis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are, black Bahamian, white Bahamian, blue Bahamian, green Bahamian, you're going to have a big problem with that. Because the first thing you're going to say, I am a Bahamian, and I have the rights and the access as a nationalist who born here to have free access, to have better options than a foreigner, someone who just residing there or doing business there, you will have a big problem with that. And you will ask not just your family, you're going to call on the Bahamas as a whole, a nation, and say, we have to stand up for something. I know what your argument can be, because if we don't, we're going to lose everything.
Stand for something,
Pirates,
for anything.
pirates. When you look at the culture of pirates, you know what they say when the French was coming in? Listen, it's okay for us to fight one another. But if we fight one another and we got to fight them, ain't nothing going to be here for none of us. So this is what we can do. Let's put our indifference aside, come together,
fight the
run the French, then we can come back to
right. Right.
The problem is everybody is playing the blame game. It's the pastor. It's the government. It's the parents. This ain't no blame game. This is a national crisis. And when it's a national crisis, it affects everybody. Now, when you're talking about your party and your government...
That's in a minute, Patrick. You got to wrap this up.
Yeah, that's my last point. When you're talking about a government party, you're talking about people, when this crisis comes, who will be able to afford to leave. But I ain't talking about them people who will be able to afford to leave. I'm fighting for the people who got to stay here.
I got to have you back. We can talk. I can reach up and then we okay? Thank you so much for bailing me out today, man.
Yes, sir. No problem. Anytime, ma'am. Anytime.
All right, guys, my time is gone. Got to get off the air. Thank you so much, Patrick Miller, Dr. Patrick Miller, for joining me on the show today. Tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday when we look at a matter that is of importance to your health. Do not miss it. Until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. It's been a pleasure. Hope you got something more value out of this show today. Listen, find your backbone, yeah? And stand up for what you believe in. Stand up and stop being a coward. And who the cap fit? Let them wear it. I gone. I can see you all tomorrow.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily